Hello, I'm Mayor Mike Maguire. I want to welcome you to this special edition of Inside Eagan. You know, Eagan has accomplished a lot of things in recent years. Some of our goals related to increasing our retail options, others to improving broadband options for businesses and for residents, and growing our sense of community through festivals and celebrations. Heck, we even have a new brew pub celebrating Oktoberfest and all sorts of festivals like that. But perhaps no single decision, as the one made by the Minnesota Vikings to purchase and develop 200 acres of land here in Eagan, has had the power to make Eagan a destination virtually overnight. With me is Lester Bagley. He's the Executive Vice President of Public Affairs and of Stadium Development, and he's going to discuss the Vikings' move to Eagan over the next 15 months or so, and what's planned for the area beyond football. Lester, welcome. It's always good to see you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Appreciate you coming by and doing the show.
To catch up with you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And congratulations to the Vikings on a great start this year. Yeah. We're here after a couple good games already and a great stadium opening. Congratulations to the organization on
Thank you. Yeah, we got some good momentum in the organization. Things are going well, and we're excited to turn our full attention to Eagan and get busy here. And I want to thank you up front for your leadership, as well as the City Council and the city and the residents and the businesses for making us feel welcome. So we're really excited about the partnership. So
well,
thanks for the chance.
We're looking forward to it. You know, Lester, why don't we start? You know, you and I have been talking about this move of the Vikings to Eagan for a little over a year now. What were the conversations that went on before the Vikings even approached the city of Eagan? And what kinds of considerations and what was the Vikings organization's experience with looking for a site, and why did they choose Eagan eventually?
Well, as you know, we were engaged in a long-term discussion about the future home of the Vikings in terms of a stadium. And you know, that project took 12 years at the legislature and then 4 years in the design construction phase. So we always had the need for a new home, a new practice facility and team headquarters in mind, but it was kind of on the back burner as we dealt with getting our team, getting our coach and our team and our in shape and going in the right direction, and also heavy energy on the stadium development side for the U.S. Bank Stadium downtown. So once we started to kind of turn the corner on the construction side, and then we turned our attention to the team headquarters, which has been a need for our organization for a long time. We're out of space. We have 3 different groups of staff in different buildings throughout the metro, and we just needed an upgrade. We're kind of falling behind the league standard, if you will. So we started the conversation a couple years ago about, all right, now we need to kind of roll up our sleeves and zero in. And it was actually the Wilf family, Ziggy and Mark Wilf, are real estate developers, and they had their eye on the former Northwest Airlines headquarters and this community, knowing that it's a great progressive community, South Metro, East, Southeast, close to the airport. So the site was ideal, and the work we put in was exploratory, just kind of figuring out what we needed as an organization. And then once we kind of got that, we started to look at where is there available site, and this one stood out among all others.
Well, you know, it's when we first were out there, I remember the impression we took a short tour of Winter Park,
right?
And one of my major impressions was really big jobs, really small offices,
really big players, really small chairs.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's in comparison to what's out at Winter Park right now, and noting the consolidation of the Vikings operations really into one place. What is it that fans or residents can expect to see, specifically in terms of the football operations and the headquarters there on that site?
Well, first and foremost, we need a state-of-the-art operation. While we are really happy with U.S. Bank Stadium and great opening and a great start to the season and really well received by the community and a great partnership that got it done. U.S. Bank Stadium is a timeshare. We're there 10 games plus playoffs every year, but other than that, there's other public events there, as it should be. But our team headquarters is where we live, where our players work out, eat, study, practice, all those things that are extremely important in the business of professional football. So we really needed an upgrade and a place where our players could feel comfortable and so we're excited about the opportunity in Eagan, excited to put our stamp on it in terms of this development in this location, in this city, to make it a state-of-the-art destination, to make it very community-focused, and we can talk more about that, but it is part of what we want to see that may be different than it is now at Winter Park and Eden Prairie or the other NFL teams, is that we want to make sure our headquarters and our organization is community focused, outwardly focused. We want to partner the work that you and your colleagues did and to get this in shape and get this project moving forward is certainly recognized and appreciated. And we want to make sure that there's some benefit to the public, that we have a Vikings destination that's got, first and foremost, it's got to work for our football team. But shortly thereafter, we got to make it work for the community, and we think we got a good plan to get going on that.
You know, and I want to talk about some of the community-facing aspects of that and what the opportunities there are for fans to see what they'll see and to follow the construction. Let me focus, though, and I know you're not a football guy per se, but you work with a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you know, really, the Vikings, whether it's a free agent from someplace else or a star running back or wide receiver at Ohio State, you're really in competition with a lot of other NFL teams in terms of those state-of-the-art facilities. Can you talk about what are the specifics when we talk about state-of-the-art and really standard of the market in the NFL these days for practice sites? Because you really are in competition with 31 other teams for state-of-the-art facilities.
No question about it. It's a very competitive business, and you know, free agency is important. You know, bringing a free agent in, you know, the thing that they see are your facilities and your coach and your front office and your personnel and your management team, and we have an impressive group, no doubt. But if it's a close call between one team and the Vikings have substandard facilities, then you know that's we don't need that disadvantage as they evaluate. Likewise, every year in the draft, we bring out you know, kids out of college and interview them, work them out, show them around. So they take a look, and then eventually these players, you know, 3-4 years down the line, when their contracts run out and they're looking for another place to go, or depending on the situation, you know, what we show them will leave an impression. And we want, you know, we only have one chance for first impression, and we want to show them that we have great facilities in a very competitive business. It's not the only thing, but it could be a break the tie with, you know, I really love the way they have that set up, or I love the community in Eagan, and you know, we know we're not going to get them on weather, so we got to get them on our team, our coach, and our coaches, and our facilities is an important place, because as I said, they spend a lot of time there.
Well, and that's, you know, staying on the kind of behind the curtain football stuff, and then we'll get to the fan experience and the community experience there. I mean, that's things like your media operation and your internal media operation, and your weight rooms and things like that. Meeting space, is that? Yeah. It's all kind of tied up in that.
And you've been there and you saw small, tight space, out of space. We have three different groups of staff in 3 different locations, and bringing them all under one roof and getting them into a state-of-the-art office setup. But important that we get the football facilities right, the weight room, the locker room, and the lounge, and the places where players spend a lot of time. Cafeteria going to be important, but also just the workspace and getting that set up. And it is, we do talk about, and we do have a very prominent entertainment network. The Vikings Entertainment Network is one of the top production groups in the NFL. Our website and all of our content that we produce on site with our crew is always top 5 in the NFL in terms of engagement and website. So it's a really important part of our operation is our communications and our television, our radio, and our content production, because we cater to our fans, and we have fans all over the world, and we have one of the strongest followings, certainly by market in the NFL, one of the strongest backings of any NFL team. So we produce content, and we produce exclusive content, and by doing that, we get people to pay attention and follow us and buy our T-shirts and buy our tickets and follow the Vikings, which is what it's all about. So that entertainment network is something we want to bring to Eagan, and right now we have a tight space, but we want to create a state-of-the-art production studio capability, and that's part of our vision and part of our plan for Eagan as well.
Even down to the actual practice facility, apparently height matters. Yeah. And being able to kick a ball indoors,
right,
and not have it hit the ceiling or the rafters is useful.
That's correct. Right now we have
or the crossbars, right?
Right. We have a facility at Winter Park that we can't punt, so our punters and kickers have to go down to the stadium to practice once or twice a week because the ceiling's not high enough. But our vision, our plan for Eagan in the indoor practice facility for when weather turns inclement,
Yep.
that we are able to
Keep everybody in.
keep everybody inside and get full football operations, including punting and kicking, and so that's one of the upgrades that our special teams guys are looking forward to for sure.
Well, great. Well, let's talk about timing here in terms of just on the headquarters. What do you expect the timeline to be in terms of construction? When can fans and residents start anticipating that they'll see Vikings activities out in Northeast Eagan?
Well, we're busy out there now, as you know. We had the great groundbreaking event, which was wonderful, historic event for the Viking organization.
My dry cleaner particularly appreciated it.
A little toasty on that afternoon,
was.
but and the commissioner of the NFL who was there loved it, and but he was a little annoyed with me at the heat. And like, well, I'm supposed to do something about the heat. But he's over it, and because he loves what we're doing.
Was he here for the playoff game last year?
Yeah, he was, but he left at halftime when he was numb from the temp.
Indeed.
But anyway, so we have a activity already going. We're grading dirt. We're getting the fields and getting the elevations and the land in shape to begin construction. So we'll get a shovel in the ground in terms of start the construction process here very soon yet this fall. Yep. And so there's a lot of work going on, and the timing is if all goes well, and so far so good, that we want to open the new Viking headquarters in Eagan on March 1st of 2018. So 14, 15, 16 months away, but it's coming. It'll be here quickly, but we've got a great group of architects and construction group and the folks that are working on the project on the construction worker side that are really got their sleeves rolled up, and we're making great progress as we speak.
The site's changing almost every day, and I drive by a lot. So really a lot on the plate for the Vikings. They've got this season where we hope we'll be involved in the Super Bowl, but no guarantees. Next season we know we'll be involved in the Super Bowl.
One way or another.
And then the year after that, the big move out to Eagan. Right. What can fans anticipate in terms of their visiting the site after March 1? Is there going to be a Vikings Hall of Fame that's open year-round that they can go into on the site? Is there going to be festivals or different activities that invite the community in? Maybe talk about some of the Friday Night Lights experiences or something like that you've been talking about? Yeah,
very much so. We really, as I said, we really want this to be community-focused and then open to fans. We want to create a Viking destination. As you know, Mayor, we have 200 acres that we will eventually develop, and we have phased-in project. Phase 1 is... And
the football operation is really only about 25% of that, right?
Correct, yeah. It's about 40 acres of the 200, but it's Phase 1, so first and foremost, we have to get that going. But the way what the residents will see and the public will see is this great state-of-the-art facility that is community-focused, that has a 6,000-seat football stadium, that it has 4 outdoor fields, and there's some graphic and some images. You can see that there's up on the sort of the left of the facility is we see where you can see 4 practice fields, 2 horizontal and 2 vertical, and those 2 on the top will be heated. So we can get ready to play Green Bay and Chicago at the end of our season, and also if we have an outdoor playoff game in a cold climate, and the 2 lower ones will not be. And then the one that's got the number 3 on it, that is the 6,000-seat football stadium, and that's where we hope to host Friday Night Lights. We've already been in contact with the Minnesota State High School League and talked to them about certainly high school football playoffs, because they have to play at neutral sites until we get to the U.S. Bank Stadium for the semifinals and the finals. We've talked about lacrosse. We've talked about soccer. So it'll be a multi-purpose stadium. It'll be available for football, for soccer, for rugby, for lacrosse, and we also hope to have it available for some maybe music festivals or a rib fest or things like that. To the extent that there's a need for those venues and those programs and events in this market, we certainly want to work with the city and the community to make those happen. But that's kind of what we've laid out is there's the indoor-outdoor the facility that has a cafeteria overlooking the lake, and some of the water features and the beautiful topography and really the geography of the land was really what drew us to it as well, despite the prime location and the tremendous opportunity to partner with Eagan and be in a great dynamic community. It was the beauty of the land and the opportunity to do something special that will get fans to come out, live, work, play. We want, we will get to a Hall of Fame. We will get very, outwardly focused. We will invite fans in. There will be much more, again, community focused than our current situation.
The Vikings brought in a really important partner in Twin Cities Orthopedic.
Right.
And I want to go back to the map here in a moment, but talk a little bit about the interaction between both the Vikings organization and Twin Cities Orthopedic and some of the things that are going to go on beyond the practice facility. One of the things that was interesting, I thought, was that Twin Cities Orthopedic is already the official orthopedic vendor for School District 196.
Right.
Between those kinds of partner relationships and the Vikings simply being there, what kinds of things can we expect from the Vikings in terms of the way they work with youth football and youth sports already, and what kinds of programs do we operate, and what kind of benefits will that bring to some of our local sports programs here?
Yeah, and it's an important part of what we do at the Vikings, what the NFL does, in connecting with youth sports and youth fitness and character development and certainly proper technique when it comes to football. And we have a great partnership with Twin Cities Orthopedic, and they're a great partner. They're going to be a great participant in this community as well, and they've been a great partner of the Vikings, not only providing the best health care for our football players in our organization, but also just a good partner in the community.
Yeah.
And they're excited about expanding, investing in this part of the Twin Cities region as well. So they're going to be a great flag bearer for this community going forward. So excited about them. They partner with us on a number of different things, but we have E.J. Henderson, former Pro Bowl linebacker for the Vikings, runs our youth football program.
Okay.
And we have Brad Madsen, who runs our community relations program. Together, those two gentlemen work with communities, work with youth sports, work with high schools to provide clinics. We have flag football tournaments. We have youth sports focused on health and wellness. The NFL Play 60 is one of their major programs that they do, and they're funding them in this market and in Eagan to make sure that kids get a chance to come out and go to a free camp. And if you're a football player, learn how to play the game, learn the safe technique, things like that. But also, football is a great teacher of teamwork and character development and things like that. So it's a lot of what we're really looking forward to now that we're going to hopefully have a lot more room to breathe than we had leading up to this point in our current facility, to have room to bring the public in and to have those types of events, not have to do them off-site or do somewhere else. We can do them right at the headquarters, and fans. We know our fans would love to come in and experience the team headquarters, and so we're excited about that element too.
Well, I think of Larry Fitzgerald, who was a ball boy, as I understand, for the Vikings long before his excellent career and continuing career. Those are the kinds of opportunities that will be for not just Eagan and Mendota Heights youth athletes, but really athletes throughout the region.
Exactly, and we've got great programs that our youth football coordinator develops, and will bring people in. It'll be a region-wide, a statewide opportunity, and especially with that practice field or that 6,000-seat stadium, we can have some great, and that's expandable. We can expand that up to 10 or 12,000 too if we need to. If it's a big event, we can host Division III football games. We've already begun thinking about events like that. So host a McAllister versus Gustavus type of type of game, and things like that. We have a nice press box that will accommodate NCAA sports. So lots of great opportunities to bring people nationally. Opportunities to bring people statewide, but certainly in the Twin Cities Metro, we want to make this the Vikings destination with a great partnership with our community, and particularly with the focus on youth sports.
Well, I want to talk about beyond the football, because it's about 75% of the rest of the development is really non-football related. Although certainly the team is a big part of the attraction there. But I'd be remiss if I didn't. One of the number one questions I get, my response is always, well, you'll have to ask the Vikings, so I'll ask the Vikings instead. Can we anticipate that training camp will be up here and we'll need to get some kids out on bikes running athletes around the facility?
Well, we'll see what happens on that front, and we'd have signed an agreement extension down in Mankato. Mankato's been a great location.
I went to school down in Mankato, and it's always great to see the Vikings come to town. No doubt.
So it's been good. The community's been good to us. The university can be a challenge because their fall semester starts, and we sometimes, depending on the calendar, we have to shorten training camp. So there have been some challenges, but for the most part, it's been a great getaway, and it's really our coach and our football guys will decide. Do we want to get out and go down, or is this opportunity in Eagan to create that same environment for the players to get together, that 3 weeks of training camp? Part of our plan, as you know, is to develop a hotel and housing for people, for our players to stay in, so we could accomplish that. But bottom line on the training camp question, we have not made a decision on that. Clearly, we're creating something special here, and a development and a practice facility and team headquarters that would accommodate a major event such as training camp. But that decision we made once we get the facility open and start to evaluate and take the temperature of our coach and our team as to what kind of setup are they looking for.
I referenced having been down in Mankato some time back, and one of the big changes in Mankato is that the Albatross is now closed.
Yes.
Which I'm sure the coaching staff probably appreciates, but it makes it a different environment to go to. But the point is really that training camp down there goes on within the context of a college community and in a community. Let's talk about some of the development beyond the headquarters. What do you anticipate? Is there going to be an Albatross too, maybe? Just in terms of the other 250 acres, and I'll kind of let you run around the site as you want to see. But
we do, as you know, and this is important to you and to your colleagues, that we make sure it's not just the team headquarters. That this is, we've acquired 3 different pieces of property that total 200 acres, and here's an opportunity.
It's a significant facelift in that corner of the community, no doubt.
Yeah, and then opportunity to do something special, and we certainly, the anchor tenant is the Vikings, and the anchor operation is the Vikings team headquarters practice facilities. We want to get that right out of the chute and get create that great setup for our organization, our team, and our community, as we talked about. But beyond that, our owners are developers, and they're successful developers, and not intimidated by big deals. This is a big deal. This is a big piece of property, but they really have a vision for, as I said, live, work, play, but also...
Maybe we can pull up that map of the area a little bit and just kind of maybe just do a quick 360 here. We only have a few minutes left, but I want to make sure that we get to it, because it really is an exciting plan, and I think it's important that we talk about just maybe District 4 and kind of going around from the facility and kind of talk about some of the highlights on what you anticipate there.
Yeah, and we want to create a hotel and a conference center. So we want an opportunity for a first-class hotel. I think there's a need for one in this region, this part of the region.
Excuse me.
And then we have the Twin Cities Orthopedics and their sports medicine operation. We'll set those guys up.
They're anticipated to be kind of in the southern part of 3A.
The 3A, and there's some parking there. The parking in 4 and 3A, as well as up above the 3, there's some staff and player parking. But the point is, all that parking would be available for events going on at the football field or at the stadium, so we'll be able to accommodate. And then you get down to 5, which is kind of a retail town center concept. To have office and retail and the Wilf family has had some very good experience on those fronts. We also have potential multifamily housing, but just multiple uses in the region, and the numbers don't exactly correspond to the phases. It will work with you, Mayor, and the city in terms of what's the next best development and what's the next most marketable phase of the project. But there's definitely some phases that could take 5, 10, 15 years when it's all said and done. But we're determined, and again, our owners have experience on how to do this, how to phase it in, how to respond to the market, and how to deliver what we need in this market.
The Wilf's background is primarily in residential, so to some extent, some of the commercial development and the retail development is not entirely new, but somewhat new to their approach. Is that fair to say?
Well, they're kind of across the board. They've done everything from hotels to housing to multifamily to retail. So I think and they also have relationships with developers, and there may be, we look for partners on the hotel front. We look for partners. We've been working well with the Eagan Convention Visitors Bureau, and to make sure that we deliver what the city and what the hospitality community needs. And we also want to, again, the destination. We'd like to get some restaurants, some bars, some things where people can come to this destination and more than just work, and more than just 5 days a week. We want to make it 7 days a week.
I know it's on my list to talk to you about what happens with those whiteboards out at Winter Park once you move out of that facility, because I got some ideas for uses on those.
All right.
But
look forward to that.
I want to. We just have a couple minutes left here, and you've been with the organization for a while. Congratulations on getting the stadium done. I know you've dedicated a large part of your professional career to doing that.
Yeah.
And you've been working with folks in the Vikings organization for years. And one of the things that impressed me was how much of a team you guys are.
Right.
Not just on the field, but as we talked. I wonder, it seems like the Wilfs are making some really significant commitments to Minnesota and to the Vikings, investing significant amount of money. What's something about the team and about the organization that maybe the average fan doesn't see, but you've had a real good insight to for the last dozen or so or more years?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the organization?
I think it is. I think it is. We want to be best in class, and there's a Disney-esque connection there to make sure our fans' experience at the stadium is first class. And I think our organization strives to be best in class, and I think it is the team aspect. We do work well together as a team. We work hard and we work well as a team, and we've got a lot of opportunities coming up. First and foremost, get that stadium deal done, and then let's focus and create this great best in class team headquarters and practice facility in Eagan.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you so far. It's been really great to be able to talk to you about this. I hope as we go forward, you'll come back and give us some updates on the construction and on how it's going. In the meantime, if fans want to keep track of the progress of the construction, I suspect you don't want them wandering around the site. How might they do that?
You can go to Vikings.com. We have a camera set, and we're also working with the Dakota County Chamber of Commerce to provide monthly updates to their members, and I'm happy to come back anytime, and we stay in touch. So whatever you need in terms of updates, but I think our website on Vikings.com will get you the latest, and this is going to be a fascinating project as it develops, and the media will cover it, and so we do a good job of being transparent and bringing the public along through that aspect as well.
The Vikings brought in some skydivers with shovels for the groundbreaking.
That's right.
We will watch Vikings.com and those other websites for updates, and try to guess as a community how you're going to top skydivers. Perhaps it's the commissioner coming in on a parachute.
I'm not sure he'll do that, but he's all in, though. He's really excited about this project.
Lester, thanks for coming by and joining us. We'll look forward to working with you, and we'll look forward to the Vikings headquarters here on March 1st of 2018. Thank you for joining us today. Please take a look at those websites if you want to keep track of the Vikings development and development associated with it. And that's our show for now. We'll see you next time inside Eagan.